I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
They have done everything they can to destroy Black wealth and to destroy Black people, whether it comes from stealing our wealth, stealing our homes, stealing our lives, our property, our dignity. Anything that they can do, they will do it. And they'll find a way to justify it. They will lie and retell the story in a way that makes it seem that they were justified in doing what they do. And I just don't understand why some of us take it so lightly when the history shows us, and the problem that I have with Democrats is that there hasn't been enough long-term strategy put into place. And I think maybe it's because the Democrats operate more like a coalition, whereas the Republicans have a unified mission and objective. It's listen, and I don't care who don't like this. How can we screw these Black people over? How can we maintain power? How can we punish them? Whereas we sit around, and I say we, I'm 1% with the Democrats, is how do we help? How do we address LGBTQIA rights? How do we address immigration? How do we address trans? And then after you start talking about all of that, right, then it's like, okay, what about Black people? And when you're not unified, then it's much easier for the other side to just black dog you out. They don't even have the numbers, and they know they don't have the numbers. But they have been able to put their thumb on the scale and manipulate the rules of the game in a way that, like you said, we screwed. Or like what did Alonzo say on training day? We federally fucked. That's what we are right now.
I think, and the other thing about it is too, is so like you said, the Republicans are obsessed with maintaining power. We focus on, pandering to our constituents, which is good. And I say we, I use that term we very loosely. But I mean, if we went after the power, it would be easier for us to do the things that we are meeting to try to get done. So I don't understand why they haven't regrouped and focused on regaining and retaining power so that they can do the things that they keep promising to their constituents. But also, I mean, I think that if we had nonpartisan ballots and we could actually vote for the lesser evil in the Republicans, then maybe we wouldn't have the worst Republican in the world versus this liberal Democrat. And then people are so juxtaposed against who they're voting for. I think it would be a different feeling after voting. Because like I have a lot of friends who are on the ballot for judge in my county. I can't vote for any of them because they're all Republican. And there are a lot of them that are good that I would like to vote for them over some of the people they're running against. But by the time they get to my ballot, they've already won because there are no Democrats running against any of the judges in my county. So I essentially don't get to vote for judge. Ever.
I mean, that applies. Yeah, you talked about that before, and that applies for your situation. But I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of white people in my life who are good people. They're good people, right? But never, never, never underestimate or never forget that they will only go so far.
So far.
They will not jeopardize the protection and the status that comes with whiteness. You may be welcome in their home. They may love your children. They may walk your dog when you're out of town and watch your house and, water your plants and that old shit. But if they really, really, really wanted this thing to be different, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Right. Exactly.
Trump would never even come close to being in office.
And
so I understand what you're saying,
yeah.
But it ain't no we could vote for the lesser evil. Because honestly, Hillary was the lesser evil. And they didn't vote for her.
But what I'm saying is she's still on the Democrat side.
I understand
So
that's your situation,
there
but we're
was
talking
a
about
diff, but I'm
generally that
saying,
don't apply.
of all the Republicans running, we would have chosen a different person than Trump to run against Hillary in the first place.
None of the other Republicans could beat him. He ran against 18 other Republicans and he beat them all
But
because
that's
they did not want a moderate Republican. They wanted to maintain white
Yeah.
supremacy. He ran
that's my
against
point.
18 other candidates. So your vote, my little vote, Lab's little vote wouldn't make a
Here you go.
difference
Here you go. Back
because
to the your vote not counting, but it does. That's
it
my
wouldn't have made a
point.
difference. It wouldn't have made a difference to beat white folks.
What I'm saying is if between the 18 people, the votes are going to be split and divided. So I'm not
Yeah.
going to
He
subscribe to
still
the
won.
idea that it's not going to put another person, because the problem is when 18 people are talking, nobody's listening. But when it started getting down to the last couple of people and they started bowing out against Trump, it's because they knew they couldn't beat Trump against the Republican Party. But if they were going against Trump against the whole country voting, that's a different conversation.
But see, you're also asking something like that to matter in a presidential election. You have to totally upend how it happens. So there's a reason why they start in Iowa for the caucuses. There's a reason why they start in New Hampshire. There's a reason why they start in these places where there's South Carolina. You know what I mean? So any type of candidate that might do well on the larger scale in a California, in a Texas, in a Georgia, in a Ohio, in a Michigan, by the time they get to those states, they've already lost 6 states. And so, the momentum goes, they're not going to get there. So why is Iowa? Why would Iowa be the first state to start? Like literally, I'm nothing against Iowans, but I mean, why Iowa? It's not a representative sample of the United States. There's no major urban city, and I would think you would at least need a state that represents the nation where you may have 2 or 1 major city, and then the rest is rural, which is kind of how the U.S. is. You see the maps. Yeah. And Ohio, right. Exactly. So you would have to approach it a little differently, and it would open up everything, I think, a little more to more diverse candidates.
Yeah.
And out of those 3, Lab, you make an excellent point. The only one that has a good number of Black people is South Carolina. And they just made it to where, hey, all them Black people in South Carolina, your vote don't mean nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Tim Scott. Let's see if you can hold on, bro. You was sucking Trump's what the whole time. I saw where it was like 4 Republican Black political representatives. They're
4
not
Black men. They all got
4 Black men. They're gone, and one of them fools is just like, I don't really care.
Right. Exactly.
Fool.
He was used. But also when you think about it.
Hold on, right to it. Eddie Glaude is a PhD, so Dr. Eddie Glaude.
Okay. Hold on, I lost my train of thought now. What I was about to say. Anyway, no, you good. It'll come back to me. It wasn't nothing.
I'm trying to find a gap there. My bad.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing groundbreaking or anything. But
but it's Ricky, you made a great point. We have to find a way to overcome this voter apathy. That's it. Because they can stack the Black people all into one district, or they can zigzag the lines to split up the Black vote or whatever. Effectively, saying they're going to try to nullify what we could do. But if enough people come out, that's really our only.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. But, and this is a big but, the Democrats have to be just as ruthless.
Yeah.
So California, you don't get no Republican districts.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois, you don't get no Republican districts.
New York,
you don't get none.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think I saw where they said the way the math would work, really the Republicans, if the Democrats could do what they should do,
mm-hmm.
they really could be hurting themselves by doing this.
Yeah.
And then to put them in a position where it's like, hey, wait a minute, man. We got
slow down.
Yeah, we got
Also because like in Texas, some of those red counties or red districts are now purple. because of the redistricting, because not only have they changed them, but the dynamic and the demographic in some of those areas is changing rapidly, and people are just soured on the MAGA folk, quite frankly. And so
they soured on Doge.
Yeah,
they soured on on ICE.
Okay, so when you said Democrats have to play the same game in California, that made me think about what I was going to say, and that's when Arika was talking about wielding power and getting power. I think a lot of Democrats like being the underdog, like playing the road game. They want to make it seem like they're workers, and I'm working to overcome the man. And because I'm not saying they're afraid to have power, but once they get in that position, then they don't know how to govern. You know what I mean? And so you build everything up. You tell people we need to fight against this, fight against this, fight against this. And then when you attain that power, then what do? You don't know where to go from there. And so I think there is a segment that kind of likes the position of being an underdog or fighting against the mainstream, quote unquote.
They just are ineffective, man, in terms of strategy. And it's been a long time. I said Howard Dean was the last one they had that really got them to where they needed to get. He got, helped get Barack put into office, President Barack put into office. But their messages, I saw Hakeem Jeffries said, the first thing we do when we take over the House is we're going to impeach Donald Trump. That shit don't move the needle for white folks.
Nah, it don't move the needle for me.
They don't care about if he gets impeached. First thing you should have said was, first thing we're going to do is we're going to codify voting to protect your vote.
Yep.
First thing that we're going to do is we're going to help you with the affordability problem in this country.
Reinstate all the ACA.
It took me $55 to fill up my truck. This weekend it took me $99.
Man, gas, it jumped 20 cents in the last 2 days up here. It's like $4.29 now, man.